Word on the streets is that nearly a dozen rappers were arrested shortly after explosive leaked footage from 50 Cent's documentary went viral, sending shockwaves through the hip-hop world. The clips reportedly expose career-ending moments, and 50 Cent hasn't held back, openly mocking those involved while sharing reactions to the arrests. Today we're breaking down the footage, the fallout, and why the entire industry can't stop talking about it. To understand how things reached this point, you have to go back to December 2025. That's when the 4-part Netflix docuseries Sean Combs' The Reckoning premiered. 50 Cent, whose real name is Curtis James Jackson II, partnered with director Alexandria Stapleton to deliver an unfiltered look into the life and career of Sean Diddy Combs. This wasn't some low-budget online project, it was a full-scale production by Netflix. The platform described the series as a jaw-dropping, investigative and revelatory deep dive into the allegations surrounding Diddy and the rise of his bad boy empire over several decades. The series covered a wide range of topics. The first 2 episodes revisited the East Coast versus West Coast tensions of the 1990s, including the unsolved murders of Tupac Shakur and the Notorious B.I.G. It also explored Diddy's rivalry with Death Row Records, his relationships, and his influence across the music industry, including connections to Cassie Ventura. But what truly shook viewers was the footage. No one expected. The documentary featured never before seen clips filmed in the 6 days leading up to Diddy's arrest, along with handwritten journal entries from Bad Boy co-founder Kirk Burroughs. These materials reportedly documented years of Diddy's personal and financial dealings. The backstory behind the footage only added to the drama. Originally recorded by a videographer hired by Diddy for a personal documentary, the content was never meant for public release after his arrest. A third-party freelancer allegedly leaked the footage, according to director Michael Obley. It wasn't about money, it was a betrayal. In a statement, he claimed someone unethically passed the material to 50 Cent. The clips themselves were intense. In one moment, Diddy appears visibly agitated, lashing out at his legal team and demanding they find someone willing to operate in what he described as the dirtiest of dirty business to push back against the accusations. When asked about how he obtained the footage, 50 Cent remained evasive. In an interview, he responded, "Why would you ask us to reveal our sources?" Stapleton backed that stance, stating firmly that the footage was obtained legally and that they had the rights to use it. The documentary didn't just rely on legal drama, it also highlighted personal moments that painted Diddy in a controversial light. One widely discussed clip showed him greeting fans in Harlem, only to later express discomfort, saying he felt dirty and needed to clean himself after the interaction. 50 Cent pointed to moments like these as reflections of Diddy's character. Speaking to ABC News and journalist Robin Roberts, 50 Cent explained his motivation. He said staying silent would imply that hip-hop condones such behavior, and he felt a responsibility to speak up, especially for those who couldn't. The response was massive after its release. The Reckoning reportedly pulled in over 50 million views on Netflix, showing just how deeply the story resonated with audiences. Even 50 Cent admitted he expected success, but not on that scale. Now, with leaked footage circulating and arrests making headlines, the situation has escalated beyond just a documentary. It's become a cultural flashpoint, one that continues to unfold in real time, with the entire industry watching closely. But when the documentary started outperforming even massive titles like Stranger Things, even 50 Cent admitted he didn't expect that level of success. That's a global franchise, so for a docuseries to compete at that level was shocking. The impact was immediate. The documentary didn't just succeed, it reshaped 50 Cent's image in hip-hop. He was no longer just the guy trolling on Instagram. Now he was someone capable of putting your entire life on screen for millions to judge. The response from Sean Diddy Combs' camp came fast, and it was aggressive. His team publicly slammed the Netflix series, calling it a shameful hit piece built on unauthorized and illegally obtained footage. According to Diddy's spokesperson Judah Engelmeyer, the documentary relied on stolen material that was never meant for public release. In a statement reported by Variety, his team argued that Diddy had spent decades collecting personal footage to tell his own story and that Netflix had unfairly misused it. But the criticism didn't stop there. They went directly after 50 Cent, accusing him of having a personal vendetta. The statement claimed it was staggering that Netflix would give influence over such a sensitive project to someone who had publicly attacked Diddy for years. They even referenced Netflix CEO Ted Sarandos and music industry legend Clarence Avant, framing the situation as a deep personal betrayal. Diddy's legal team took it a step further, issuing a cease and desist letter just before the documentary's release, arguing that the use of private pre-indictment footage was unauthorized. Despite that, Netflix moved forward and 50 Cent openly mocked the legal threat online. Netflix, however, pushed back hard. The company denied every claim, stating that the footage was legally obtained and that the project had no connection to any prior discussions with Diddy. They also made one point very clear: this was not a revenge project. While 50 Cent served as an executive producer, Netflix emphasized that he did not have full creative control. Then things took a strange turn. In one of the more bizarre moments, 50 Cent claimed on social media that he received an early Christmas gift from Diddy, a bouquet of flowers sent while he was performing in Miami, but Diddy's team quickly denied it ever happened, suggesting instead that someone may have played a prank in poor taste. Meanwhile, Diddy's legal troubles only continued to escalate. Interest in the allegations surged after the documentary's release. The series included interviews tied to his federal case, which began in September 2024 when he was arrested and charged with serious offenses including racketeering, conspiracy, and sex trafficking. By October 2025, he had been sentenced to 50 months in prison on related charges after spending over a year at Brooklyn's Metropolitan Detention Center. Diddy was later transferred to a lower security facility in New Jersey, but even into 2026 the situation has continued to evolve. New claims surfaced during court proceedings, including testimony from an escort service owner alleging that Diddy requested dozens of male escorts. Reports also suggested that additional state charges could still be filed as expected. 50 Cent didn't stay quiet. He reacted on Instagram in his usual blunt style, taking direct shots at his longtime rival and amplifying the controversy even further. At the same time, the Sean Diddy Combs and Curtis 50 Cent Jackson have been prominent figures in the entertainment industry for decades, but they've never been close. While they collaborated occasionally early in their careers, their relationship has since devolved into a decades-long rivalry fueled by business clashes, diss tracks, conspiracy theories, viral trolling, and most recently a Netflix documentary produced by 50 Cent that focused on Diddy's legal troubles. Their complicated history now spans more than 25 years. The early chapters of their story were relatively calm. The feud reportedly began in the early 2000s, shortly after 50 Cent worked with Combs on several tracks from the posthumous 1999 album Born Again by the Notorious B.I.G. They moved in the same circles and did some business together, but it didn't last. Tensions escalated in 2006 when 50 Cent released the diss track The Bomb, which included gunfire sound effects and an allegation that Combs knew the identity of the person who killed Biggie, accusing Diddy of knowing about the death of his protege and close friend. Was a line that couldn't be taken back. It marked a turning point in their relationship, signaling a dramatic shift from cooperation to outright hostility. There were periods of calm. For example, in 2007, 50 Cent playfully interrupted an interview with Diddy, exchanging some witty banter. In 2009, they briefly joined forces to troll Rick Ross during 50 Cent's ongoing feud with the rapper, but the rivalry always resurfaced. By 2014, 50 Cent was back at it, criticizing Diddy's single Big Homie on 92Q Jams, saying straight trash, he don't even need a record cause he don't got one defining feature of this feud has been how personal it became. 50 Cent has recounted awkward interactions with Diddy, including a bizarre encounter at Chris Lighty's wedding where Diddy told him he'd take him shopping. 50 Cent recalled thinking, "What did you just say? Let me move before I do something. You're going to make me mess up the wedding." Diddy, however, has often dismissed the tension, publicly telling The Breakfast Club, "I don't have no beef with Fifth, he loves me, y'all can't see that, you really think that's hate, you know he loves me." Things escalated again in 2023 when Diddy's legal troubles became public. In October 2023, 50 Cent alleged that Combs was involved in the death of Tupac Shakur, another victim of a drive-by shooting, which Combs has consistently denied. By 2025, 50 Cent was no longer just posting online. He had formed a production company, secured a Netflix deal, and released a 4-part docuseries, Sean Combs: The Reckoning, about his longtime rival. The trolling had evolved into a full-scale industry event impossible for anyone in hip-hop to ignore. Not everyone supported 50 Cent's documentary crusade. Longtime rivals, including Ja Rule, used the opportunity to attack him. Ja Rule reignited his feud with 50 Cent over the Netflix docuseries, accusing him of acting no differently than convicted criminals. Following the release on December 2, 2025, Ja Rule criticized 50 Cent online, calling him a rat and a snitch, and later labeled him a cancer to the culture, suggesting ulterior motives behind the documentary. This feud, stretching more than 2 decades, shows how intertwined personal and professional conflicts in hip-hop can become, and how 50 Cent has leveraged both to make his mark on the industry in unprecedented ways. The feud between Curtis 50 Cent Jackson and Ja Rule is one of the oldest and most infamous in hip-hop, spanning more than 2 decades. It reportedly began in 1999 when Ja Rule was robbed at gunpoint in Queens by an associate of 50 Cent. The details of the origin differ depending on who tells the story. In his 2005 biography From Pieces to Weight, 50 Cent claimed that Ja Rule became furious after seeing him at a club with one of the robbers, giving him the cold shoulder. Ja Rule, however, denied ever seeing 50 Cent with his assailant and said the feud began after 50 Cent allegedly took offense at being snubbed by Murder Inc. over the years. Their rivalry escalated with diss tracks, public insults, and physical altercations. A notable incident occurred at Hit Factory Studios in New York City, where 50 Cent's G-Unit crew ran into Murder Inc. members, resulting in 50 Cent being stabbed by rapper Black Child. So when Ja Rule attacked 50 Cent over the Netflix documentary about Diddy, it wasn't random, it was just the latest chapter in a rivalry that had been simmering for a quarter of a century. Ja Rule has also been a vocal supporter of Diddy throughout the latter's legal battles, while 50 Cent has clashed repeatedly with Diddy's representatives over the docuseries. In response to Ja Rule's criticisms, 50 Cent shared a video clip of former Diddy bodyguard Gene Deal recounting a story about seeing Diddy and Ja Rule emerge from a room wearing nothing but towels. Captioning the post, 50 Cent wrote, "In case you're wondering why these people are saying very, very nasty things about me. LOL. Diddy's own family has entered the fray as well. His sons Justin Combs and Christian King Combs announced a new docuseries on Zeus Network slated for a 2026 release, documenting how their family has been affected by their father's federal trial and conviction. A trailer posted on December 28, 2025 showed them watching footage outside the courthouse. Earlier in May 2024, Christian released a song titled Pick a Side in support of his father and calling out critics like 50 Cent. Both brothers were briefly handcuffed during the March 2024 search of Diddy's home, though neither was charged, and 50 Cent continued trolling throughout. 50 Cent's trolling reached new heights after the release of Sean Combs' The Reckoning. He resurrected earlier controversies, including Diddy and Jay-Z's co-defendant status in a previously dismissed case, and even turned it into a digital ad campaign. The commercial, titled The Big Beef, referenced Diddy's 50-month prison sentence and included subtle jabs at his stage name, further cementing 50 Cent's role as both historian and executioner in the world of celebrity feuds. But 50 Cent wasn't done. On March 5, 2026, he set the internet ablaze by teasing a new documentary on Instagram. The post hinted at a project tentatively titled Surviving T and Tiny, clearly referencing Lifetime's Surviving R. Kelly series. The caption read, "Remember how quiet I got before the Diddy doc? Dame thought I wasn't coming. I hope this doesn't mess up your promo tour. They are going to ask about your 20 sexual assault cases. You might want to talk to a crisis PR person." The tension with T.I.isn't new either. Their conflict dates back to 2007 when 50 Cent called T.I. a snitch after his machine gun arrest and plea deal. The feud reignited in February 2026 when T.I. accused 50 Cent of avoiding a versus battle during his Kill the King album promotion. 50 Cent responded naturally with Instagram trolling, signaling that the rivalry is far from over and that has ready to escalate things again through his signature combination of social media, documentaries, and digital campaigns. T.I. did not let the situation slide. Over the past few weeks, Tip targeted 50 Cent with multiple diss tracks, responding to the New York rapper's refusal to face him in a versus battle. T's sons King Harris and Demeni also joined the fray, releasing their own songs aimed at 50 Cent. The feud took a darker turn when T's son King Harris escalated matters further. King went live online, launching a brutal rant that targeted 50 Cent's late mother, Sabrina Jackson, who passed away when 50 Cent was just 8 years old. He even wore a t-shirt featuring her for a move that even T.I. admitted went too far. Speaking publicly on the A-Bro show, T.I. said of his son's actions, "I ain't got nothing to do with everybody moving on their own accord." While he expressed pride in his family's unity, he confirmed that he told King to step back after the shirt incident. 50 Cent, however, did not respond with diss tracks. Instead, he wielded a far more damaging weapon, the documentary threat, rather than attacking through music. 50 Cent leveraged the power of film. He had already demonstrated this strategy with his recent Netflix docuseries Sean Combs' The Reckoning, which focused on Diddy's life amid numerous sexual assault lawsuits and allegations. The allegations against T.I. and Tiny Harris, which 50 Cent has referenced, are serious. Over 30 women and one man have accused the Harris family of a pattern of drugging, kidnapping, and sexual assault allegations. They have consistently denied the accusations. Date back to 2021 when Atlanta entrepreneur Sabrina Peterson publicly accused T.I. of holding a gun to her head. Dozens of other women came forward with similar stories alleging that T.I. and Tiny invited women to VIP sections or hotel suites, provided them drinks, and assaulted them. Despite the consistency of these claims, no criminal convictions have resulted. Investigations were opened in Los Angeles and Las Vegas, but no charges were formally filed. Often due to the statute of limitations, T.I. and Tiny have maintained their innocence, stating publicly, "Whatever we ever have done has been done with consensual adults who are into what we're into and like what we like. If we want something, we know exactly where to get it." As of March 2026, there is no verified production schedule, network deal, or footage confirming that surviving T.I. and Tiny exists. Yet 50 Cent understands that in today's era of instant viral media, the threat of a revealing documentary often carries more weight than the project itself. He even released a disc on the Power Origins theme song targeting T.I., Tiny, and their children, reigniting a feud that has simmered for nearly 2 decades. The pattern is clear. 50 Cent used The Reckoning as proof of concept. The Netflix 4-part series dropped in December 2025, garnering 21.8 million views in its first 6 days. He demonstrated his ability to control a narrative, dominate the conversation, and turn personal beefs into public spectacles. Now he is using the same strategy to put T.I. on the defensive. Whether or not surviving T.I. and Tiny ever becomes a real production is almost irrelevant. The threat alone has already achieved its purpose, keeping T.I. on edge, dominating public discourse, and reminding every rapper with a skeleton in their closet that 50 Cent is watching. 50 Cent has survived being shot, outlasted industry shifts, and conquered the business world. Through it all, his sharpest tool has always been his refusal to let a good beef go to waste. And based on everything we've seen so far, this is far from over. This is just the beginning. If there's one thing 50 Cent has proven repeatedly, it's that he doesn't stop, he doesn't let up, he doesn't forget. The only question remaining is who's next.